Hello, it's been a month, been a minute. I was going to say, and we're the five-a-side cod past. Yep, fucked it straight
Bit
away.
rusty. Bit rusty.
Oh dear. It's an absolute mare.
Roll with it. Let's go.
Hello, it's been a minute. We're the five-a-side podcast, and we're happy to be back. I'm Fergus Smith, and as usual, Matthew Thompson's alongside me.
Evening.
Craig Gregor's there,
All right.
and Ross Stewart.
Hi all.
We will only be the four-side podcast for the foreseeable future. As Billy has personal, I don't know, issues, not issues, but things to
He's
deal
not here
with.
for personal
Yes,
reasons. Yeah.
We have it on good authority. He's not here due to the fact he lost the predictions league last season. He didn't think he could show his face.
It will be back.
That's not
Um,
a confirmation, but let's just say it could
No,
be a
it
very
is,
good
it is
reason.
confirmation.
That's what you're gonna get.
That's why it's not here. No, it will be back. Hopefully, just we'll give him all the time he needs. Anyway, it's been a while, hasn't it, boys? It was a long time ago. I was going to tell you how long, but it's been a long time.
It was just before the opening games of the Euros, wasn't it?
Yeah. So just over a month
So that-
since we last recorded the podcast.
a
Yeah,
good
probably
wee-
about 5-6 weeks.
a good wee month of football.
It was maybe not so much for us, but we'll discuss that now. We started off our Euros campaign at home, Czech Republic. We've played them 3 times in the last 2 years. Before that game, hadn't lost to them. You know, everyone was in good spirits, fired up. It was a Monday afternoon. I mean, they can fuck off for that decision, but fired up, and we got what's the word?
Pumped?
Nah, not actually. Matt's just
No, we
we
didn't
didn't get pumped. It was
We
a
we
wake
just
up
didn't
call.
play up. Yeah, I think we just weren't quite ready for the main stage. At that point, I think there was some questionable decisions in the lineup. It was probably the easiest game we had. Probably should have started with the 2 strikers at that point, but he didn't. So we'll live and we learn, though. But we didn't play terribly.
No, the same issue we've had. We knew going into the Euros when we watched the friendlies pre-Euros that we were going to struggle for goals, or we didn't have a clinical goal scorer, and then you come up against a team that are bang average with a good goal scorer, and it makes all the difference.
Yeah, lost a cheap goal really, where the cross wasn't really blocked. I'm trying
That's
to
a good
remember this
header.
off the top of my head there. Yeah, and probably should have defended better. Czech Republic were probably deserving of the lead at that point. No, they were the better team to start with. And then if you count that one as a cheap goal, the second was even cheaper.
Craig's got his notes here.
I do my list of notes.
I don't want to talk about the second goal.
Well, we have to.
Nah,
It was a goal
can we
tournament.
just pretend it didn't happen?
I like it.
The win goal.
I'd like it to
It
be
is one goal of
known.
the tournament,
Craig
yes.
was in attendance of the game and went, "Oh, I'm not blaming Marshall there, but watching it at the Casa de Jura, I think we all were in agreement that
He's doxed himself. He's just said his address.
The Casa de Jura, that's his address.
And on the sat nav, I'll take you straight to it.
Well-
send stuff to my PO box, please."
I believe what I said was that it wasn't 100% Marshall's fault, and because it wasn't, because Hendry shouldn't be shooting from that distance for no reason when he had 3 passes on either side.
Marshall shouldn't be standing near the halfway line talking to the striker.
It shouldn't be, but that's obviously it's not quite how far most modern goalkeepers do play, but they do play far out their box, and you can't take it away too much from the strike. To be fair, it is a very good strike still, nonetheless, to get the curve and accuracy on it from that distance. So, but oh well.
It was a sickener at the start of the Euros. It definitely.
I almost threw up my complimentary halftime pie.
Your complimentary
was-
10 packets of crisps.
You bought big bags. It was shared
It
bags.
was.
It was annoying because I did feel that we were getting back into that game before that goal, and could have got a result against them, but no,
But we didn't.
that did move us on to going down to Wembley. Absolutely no confidence whatsoever. Assuming the worst. Well, I'm saying this for most people. Assuming the worst, but it didn't happen. The fives and sixes that were predicted by some pundits were never there.
Yeah, 0-0 was exceptional in my eyes. I mean, obviously they had chances of their own to score a goal, win the game, and we had our own chances, right? Like that we could have taken.
Yeah, it's a game that was really there for both teams to take if they'd taken their chances, really. But they didn't start the best. I don't think Scotland did anyway, but they kind of grew into it a bit more. And then Billy Gilmore and started bossing the midfield against a midfield that actually had quite a decent tournament as well.
Not if you read the English press the day after that said he was way off the pace.
It was way off the pace, even though he got man of the match, But
Man of the match, but he was a mile off.
yeah, I think the English midfield did have a very good tournament, but they got outclassed by the Scottish midfield that day. So
That's probably their worst game. To be honest. Oh. And it was much better vibes at the Casa del Ferg for game 2. Yeah, we've just doxed you.
it was better vibes then, yeah. Better vibes at Wembley.
It was good fun, yeah. And it kind of it gave everyone a sort of boost again after being so down post first game.
Special mention, I guess, to Stephen O'Donnell, who had a howler against Czech Republic. Actually, I gave him a slating, and against England, probably the best performance I've ever seen him play and ever will play.
And followed by another howler.
Yeah.
But yes, he did. He earned some respect for all of 4 days from me.
Yeah, it's a tough one because I do feel like it was really hard to drop him for the first game because he hadn't done much wrong. Even though Nathan Patterson is probably he will be the future Scotland right back.
Unless someone else comes out of nowhere and
soon enough, I'm pretty sure. Anyway.
Ralston.
Well, yeah, he's still a young boy,
He's still a young boy.
He's the young prospect.
But after the performance against Czech Republic, you could have maybe justified dropping him, but Clark kept with him and he put in a good performance, which made it basically impossible to drop him for the Croatia game at that point.
Sadly.
Oh, yeah.
To be fair, I think he could have played any right back against Croatia. I don't think it would have made much of a difference. That wasn't really where the damage was done. It was more in the midfield.
Yeah, I think it was more the fact that they had a world-class midfield who just turned up that day and was the best player in the park. Like, no one could get near him. Yeah.
Turned up for 1 day.
Modric was sensational. Obviously, me and Belmondo had the pleasure and the displeasure of being there. And Modric was just sensational. Just his range of passing, the way he can skip by a man's different class.
It's tough to say. You could say that the midfield should have got closer to him, but when it's a player of that quality, it's hard to get close to him because of how easily, like you said,
you just skip by
you or play a simple pass and then find themselves some more space, etc. But and we probably based on our performance, we probably deserved to finish where we finished in the group, but we had potential to do a lot more. We could score goals.
We scored a goal, which was, I said before the tournament, I said if nothing else, I want to celebrate a goal, and not like a commiserations 4-1 goal, an actual important goal that was worth celebrating, and we did that.
We did.
I've never seen Billy celebrate a goal like it. He threw me about 12 feet to the right with his big bear hug.
It was it was a decent goal as well, a decent finish.
It was.
And it gave us something to celebrate. And in the day, that we were like, it didn't matter whether we won or lost. Obviously, we'd rather win, but we had a good time.
Mm-hmm. Best fans in the world.
Best fans in the world.
Better than English.
Yeah, we didn't lose and then start racially abusing our players. Or
that's true. We didn't have any black, but we would share Adam, didn't we, I suppose. Yeah. We don't have many black players. Just abuse Stephen O'Donnell.
Yeah. Well, they deserve most of his abuse that he got.
I don't think that's fair.
That is fair.
Not the abuse, the criticism, fair enough.
No, he deserve
Obviously,
everything.
it's all everyone there's first major tournament. I think looking back in it, obviously Steve got the first game wrong, but it's still positives in there. Like we never really get embarrassed by anybody.
No, I think that was the good thing about it. We can go toe to toe point like on our day. We can go toe to toe with some of the world's best teams. Like,
yeah, no, we definitely showed that we're a team that, and also with a good enough crop of some young players coming through. It was a good mix, though. I think we need to start looking for things like a new goalkeeper. Not looking for a new goalkeeper, but just a younger goalkeeper.
If any young players are coming up and fans and our strikers and fans putting the work in, do well, please, because we really need a striker.
Yeah, and just centre halves. I don't
get centre halves.
I mean, Grant Hanley is our best centre half. He was very good, but he is also like 35. I don't know how old he is.
He's not actually that old.
I thought he was about 30.
No, he's not
38
even,
or something.
He's not even in his 30s. He's only like 20.
He's not in his 30s.
He's only like 27 or 28, I think.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
He's like 29.
29, that's fine.
Yeah, he's still got a few years left in him. He has just signed a new long-term deal with Norwich.
He'll be at the World Cup then next year. Perfect.
Yeah.
He was the best centre-half, in my opinion. I felt, especially against England, he had a phenomenal game.
Yeah. I always feel that the thing with Grant Hanley is when he came first into this Scotland setup, he was quite young at that point, and he was decent, but he was liable to a mistake.
I mean, he was called up, 10 years ago to the actual senior squad. I mean, he was 19,
20-ish when he was first in the squad, and liable to mistake, easy to put the blame on him. The fans never really got behind him as such, and he kind of got hounded out the squad for quite some time, even though we were always in desperate need for centre halves.
Yeah, I think that's him. I think he'll be a big part of the squad for the next at least sort of 2 campaigns or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless Norwich will do their usual and get relegated straight away, but that's not the point.
Or they just stop playing him in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Well, he is a captain, so it'd be a questionable one if he is.
Yeah.
Just stop playing.
I mean, it's happened before. Players have been very good in the Championship for teams, and they get moved to the Premier League, and then they get ousted out, basically.
Then, speaking of Norwich, anyway, that's where Billy Gilmore will be playing his football next season, so hopefully he can, stand out there too. Him and the mayor.
It's a decent move for him, obviously. I know he was heavily linked with Rangers, but I think staying in the Premier League and competing at that level is the way forward.
Yeah.
If he's going to be playing in the Premier League in his future anyway, it would make more sense for him to stay in the Premier League, albeit at a lower Premier League side. If he impresses for them, then there's always the possibility that his loan gets recalled like halfway through the season and he plays a part.
Minutes, though, which is the main thing. So we're getting reps in almost.
if he had went to Rangers, obviously he would have got a few bigger games than he will get at Norwich, but games at Norwich will be consistently better. Like, he won't be going from playing a Champions League game to playing Ross County or Dundee.
I thought you were going to say Brecon.
I
Yeah,
could get that in the cup, to be fair.
No, that'll be next season once they get sent down for financial fair play.
Sent to the Highland League.
Yeah, that's right. Rangers will be playing in the Highland League with them.
I know.
Makes sense.
What
That's
a cabbage.
not a joke. I was joking. Come on.
That was a very good joke, was it?
Yeah.
I can see you've been off this for a while.
It's been that long since we were last on that Celtic actually finally have a new manager as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot they didn't have a manager when we were last left, did they?
And Ange Postecoglou comes in. He will. Well, he's had 3 friendlies now. 4.
Well, I don't think you can count one of them as a friendly because you played 3 30-minute segments.
Oh yeah, it was
in
a bizarre friendly, but yeah, weird.
That
was his first
your own rules.
He's made 2 signings or something that are actually like since he came in or something like that.
I think he made more than 2.
But he's made 2 first team signings. Obviously, he brought in. What is it? Is it Adaba? Sorry, is that his name?
Lil Abada.
Yeah. Him. Abada's cousin.
And Kyogo. That's as far as I'll go. I won't try and butcher his name.
That's fair enough.
Vissel Kobe, who was on a flight today. He got on a flight this morning to London, where he'll undergo 5 days isolation. Then if he tests negative, he'll be free. He'll be released to Scotland, and he'll be up here.
I noticed on Flash Scores he's listed as 26 years old, but on Wikipedia he's listed as 30 years old. So if we could figure out how old the guy is,
I think he's 26. I think he's the younger of the ages.
Unless I looked at a different one, but it was the same club and everything on Wikipedia. Unless it's been changed.
He actually signed. He signed at the weekend there, I think, and then proceeded to play a game. He played his final game after he signed for Celtic, scoring a goal and then almost getting injured by a horrendous tackle. But we move. He's okay and he's on his way.
From all accounts, from what I've seen, Andres Iniesta seems very upset to see him go, and so do obviously quite a lot of Japanese fans from what I've seen on social media.
Yeah, I think not every fan follows the Japanese league as well as I do to know how good this kid is.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Matt is an avid fan of the Japanese league.
I've just seen other people talking, or like Japanese guys, like see all the comments and stuff in Japanese, and then you translate them, and it's like, this is such a shame he's leaving. Like, I'm so upset, can't believe it, but I hope he does well at Celtic. Blah blah blah. He's so good. He's our best player.
Top scorer,
yeah, and he's one of the most highly rated players in Japan at the moment.
Iniesta said he's a good player, so
exactly
that's all you need to know.
Iniesta said he's better than him. So
by all accounts, from what I've seen of him play, based on like highlight reels, he does look like a different element that Celtic could utilise.
That's what I said about Marian Shved's highlight reel. So
I'm actually sticking by Shved never got the chance.
We'll move on from that one. What else? Celtic are expected to announce another centre-half in the coming days. I can't remember his first name, but his second name's Starfelt, which is it's a brilliant second name.
That's a good surname, if nothing else.
So Swedish international, hopefully.
Carl Starfelt.
Carl. Yeah, I can't. It's a terrible name for us to try and say. Mr. Starfelt. Centre half's definitely an area we need to build on, and he's a start because Christopher Ayer is pretty much out the door, having passed a medical today down in Brentford for a £13.5 million move.
Yeah, good
That's
deal,
a really good deal, actually.
But as some Rangers fan said in the Sky Sports post, it's only £5 million, even though it's quoted at £13.5 million, but it's only £5 million.
That's what you get for reading Twitter.
That's what I get for reading Twitter, to be fair.
Obviously, If Celtic do manage to get that amount of money, it is very good business for a guy that's only got a year left in his contract.
It's just about the reinvestment.
Yeah.
If we reinvest the money, then we'll be cushy. But if not, then
Obviously, Kyogo was reported, was it 4.5 to 5.5? So I assume some
Yeah.
of that will go towards paying for him.
Yeah.
still, I think we've got available money anyway to spend on players to replace these things.
No, I think it's good to see us strengthening positions. At least we it's signs we can at least look at and say, well, we know we need help in those positions, so it's a start.
As a start, and hopefully, we've got Midgetland or whatever they're called. I can't even pronounce it, so that's
It's
Midgetland tonight. And we're playing them tonight, which is, well, I'm worried, but we'll see how we get on. Hopefully, we can avoid disaster really, and then build from there, because it's going to be a long season.
I do stand by. Celtic do have the quality left to beat Midgetland, or however you pronounce it correctly.
Midgetland.
Or as they were saying on Premier Sports, Midgetland.
Yeah, Michelin ties.
Playing the Michelin man tonight.
Score a goal, get free tires.
I think from all accounts they've got problems of their own at the moment, with players taking the half and whatnot. So
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see how we get on.
Obviously, typical Europa, more so Europa League. I know they did get embarrassed a few years back in the Champions League. So
yeah, but who hasn't?
Yeah, this happened to the best of us. Elsewhere in Scotland, what's happening in Rangers?
Obviously, Rangers have brought in Offabar from Bournemouth. I think we spoke about that last time. He's had some irregularities in his ECG for his heart, so obviously will be out for the foreseeable, which isn't good to see. Hopefully, he fully recovers. Obviously, Rangers brought in Fashion Sakala from Ostend, who arrived last week, so should be available for Brighton on Saturday. And also signed John Lundstrom from Premier League losers, now Championship losers, Sheffield United.
Losers.
To be fair.
Don't be saying too much about them, because I'm still seeing a few, albeit not as big, links for McBurney.
Just like that £20 million bid that we're planning to put.
It's similar to the 15 million odd bids that get put from Morelos, like pretty much every day that nothing seems to happen.
I think much across, obviously, like bigger teams in Europe and Celtic and Rangers, with it being an international tournament year, the transfer window is always a bit skewed. It takes a while to sort of heat up. Not much happens before the Euros or the World Cup are done. So I think for both clubs and teams down in England, it's been a bit lackluster at the moment. But
but we didn't even get our manager into the country for.
And COVID's also not helping.
And COVID is not helping, no.
In terms of Rangers, obviously the only real target of considerable note is they're trying to sign Joey Veerman from SC Heerenveen. I hope I've said that right for all the Dutch listeners. For reported €7 million. Apparently, I've put in a bid of 4 million, which another team bid 5.5, and they went, "I'll give you 4," and it was rejected.
Yeah, it was a strange.
Board never got it wrong.
Strange negotiation that.
After they were aware, Verona put in a bid of 5.5.
What else? Oh, the City of Dundee, they've been making some signings. Dundee United, they brought in absolute legend Charlie Mulgrew, and he proved his legendary status at the weekend by scoring an absolutely beautiful free kick. What a well worked routine that
What
was.
a goal! They could
I've
have
never
put
seen anything
two
like
David
it.
De Gea's in, and 100% he wouldn't have got it.
I know.
Yeah, when you place it that well, and it's just
With that much
from that far out,
pizzazz on
you've
it.
never seen it.
It's brilliant. What a guy. And yesterday it was announced that Dundee, the other side of the road, they've signed, I think it was like the Daily Record or something, said ex-Ireland international, Cillian Sheridan, to which he replied to them and said, I'm still Irish, mate.
Yeah, I did see that one. That was a good one.
It's got a point.
We also got the Scott Brown has been announced as the
Aberdeen captain.
the play. Sorry, it's a confusing one. He's like the playing captain, but Joe Lewis is still the club
I
captain.
thought Lewis Ferguson was the captain.
I know where it comes from. It's like, so obviously because Joe Lewis is in nets, he's quite far away from like the centre of the sort of everything, whereas Scott Brown's like a central midfielder, so he's in and around it, and he's also a very commanding voice in the midfield. Like, he's a very loud guy. So, and it makes sense, like, he's such an experienced captain, ex-Celtic captain, ex-Scotland captain. Makes sense that way.
I've heard that, from folk that support Aberdeen, that apparently he's put an awful lot of work in over the last sort of 4-6 weeks.
Wouldn't surprise me, to be fair.
I think it's one of the players that
ready.
I'm kind of interested to see how he does play, like, in the Aberdeen side, where, because obviously in the Celtic side, you're playing a game where you're basically holding on to the ball for the majority of the game, sitting passing it about. It's not too much like for him to. Well, obviously, when you get to the bigger games, you obviously have to do a lot more hard work in the midfield. But majority of the games, should just be a stroll for a player like him.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see how he does in a team like Aberdeen, but albeit he does have the likes of like Lewis Ferguson to do a lot of the running, and Ross McCrory as well to do a lot of
It's actually quite a decent midfield. I think
Tenacious midfield.
I think it's going to be good for Lewis Ferguson, because obviously he's kind of been CDM / sort of utility player. I might give him a wee bit more of a license to be a tad more attacking.
Yeah,
it also gives both these players that sort of, like, Scott Brown's got all that experience. Like, he's been there and he's done that, and he can sort of pass that on. Just like in many things, like if you work with someone that's older than you and done more than you, they can give you that experience, and
he's been there and done it
tricks
for
of the
years
trade from them, which would be very good for them.
Hopefully, bringing the experience and like that will help Aberdeen maybe do a bit more in Europe. Hopefully, we can try and get one of our teams into a group stage competition, whether that be St Johnstone, Hibs, or Aberdeen.
Obviously, St Johnstone do have a very hard tie.
Yeah, but that is in the Europa League still. If they do lose that, they do drop down to the conference, so they still have that. It's not like, it's basically...
Yeah, it's not like...
yeah. And, I mean, stranger things have happened. If St Johnstone, they're a very good cup team, as we've seen last season, if they... I mean, I'm not tipping them to beat PSV or Galatasaray, but it also wouldn't surprise me too much if it did happen.
Yeah, fair play to them. They won the cup. They deserve to be where they are. Hibs and Aberdeen, hopefully they can do well and get into the Conference League group stages.
It would be hugely beneficial, obviously, for coefficient and like TV money for these teams. As soon as like one of the other teams apart from the Old Firm qualify for these sort of events, like the financial benefits are astronomical.
Yeah, because it's a waterfall effect as well. So it's obviously the more money they bring in, it will affect the teams even in the Championship, League 1, League 2. It helps with revenue and stuff like that, and just hopefully in general makes the game better.
If we can get more established as a country, Scotland, in Europe, then hopefully TV companies don't look at us like the laughing stock. sort of league they can take the piss out of, be like, oh, there you go, have £5 a game, and then that'll do us, and we'll at the end of the day, like, we're better than that. The quality of our league's better than that. Just we get shafted by money, really, because everyone else has so much money.
At the end of the day, we're going into this season as the 9th best league in Europe. So
we can pick up some points and
there's
come
no
out
reason
with 7th best.
Yeah. Not even without it.
And have it.
I mean, the benefit that would bring to have guaranteed Champions League group stage for the winner of the league, and potentially even second in the league pushing for it as well. It would just be massive.
I did read an article that it was by like some analytical site, and it said that if you qualify for the Champions League, you're almost guaranteed between 30 and 40 million. And that is not including like if you were to win a game or get to knockout stages, which I do genuinely believe could be possible.
If you got the right draw,
We've seen teams like Celtic in the past do it for a couple of years. I don't see why like Rangers currently could do it.
At the end of the day, if we were 7th best coefficient team, 7th best league coefficient, then whoever wins the league would have a guaranteed top seed, because it goes on the 7 best league winners, and then the winner of the Champions League last season are your 8 seeded teams.
But they'd still have a very difficult group, whoever it is.
Oh yeah, 100%. But to avoid the likes of you winning your Premier League, then avoid either your Atletico, Barca, Real, one of them. Avoiding Juventus, Inter,
Bayern. Yeah.
No, I agree.
Very, very beneficial for us.
Yeah.
I'm just checking now to see if there's any other Scottish football news that is anyone.
Well, there's been a couple of COVID outbreaks so far, which has affected the League Cup.
Well, we can laugh at Kelly for having to forfeit a game.
Kelly fielded a banned player, so they lost 3-0 versus East Kilbride.
Dropped them.
But they should still get through the group. It'll be tough for them, actually.
I don't know.
No, I'm not seeing a whole lot happening. Obviously, the League Cup has started.
Yeah.
After 2/3 games, Hearts are top of their group. Dundee United are top of their group. Dundee are not top of their group. Embarrassing.
But they have won both games.
That's true.
Scoring 7 and conceding 0.
Yep.
It's just the fact that Forth have played one more than them.
Ross County haven't won a game yet in that group.
Well, they did lose both games 3-0 due to forfeit.
Yeah, but they lost the games.
They've also not won.
They've not won a game.
That is quite an interesting group, actually. The fact that 3 teams have not conceded a goal, and then two teams haven't scored a goal yet. So
Livingston not top in their group. Embarrassing.
Well, they just lost to Alloa the weekend.
Well, they didn't win that.
They've got Alloa and Brecon in their group. Cowdenbeath 3 from first. Hampton top of their group, but that's a tight group as well. To be fair, that's Ayer's group.
Yeah, if Ayr win tonight, then massive changes the group up.
Yep.
Puts Ayer's favourites pretty much.
Motherwell
top of their group as well.
Motherwell top of their group after 2.
Queen's Park doing well though.
Kelly, obviously they had a bit of a nightmare, so they're sitting second bottom in their group.
Yeah.
Eric Kelly again?
Well, it's the second because it's a Monday.
Is it the Monday?
Yeah, the Monday night.
You got tickets for it yet? I take it they're not on sale.
No, they're not. They're not out yet for that.
I think obviously we need to mention that we can now go to games provided we can get tickets, which obviously is huge for all of us.
I went back to Somerset for the first time a week ago today to watch Ayr win 3-0, which is good. I was also there at the weekend and for the friendly against Burnley in the 23s.
It's a long time ago, isn't it?
Interesting games.
Since we're in, it seems almost like I see the numbers they're letting into stadiums. It seems almost like they're just making up as they go along.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a case of like you've got that amount where I think it's like 1,000 for standing stadiums and 2,000 for seated stadiums, and then you can request a higher amount of your local council, and then it's based up to them to decide
I think
if they think you can you can hold more.
if
safely.
you're asking me, it should just be like the case where it should be a percentage of like capacity they should be allowed, and then it would be like up to the club whether they want to have that whole percentage or not.
Obviously, the Rangers are playing Brighton Hove Albion on Saturday, and then playing Real Madrid on the Sunday, and there's a 4,000 fan discrepancy, which is like, which is mad to me. I know I'm being biased, but I don't understand how one day is going to change the figures by so much.
I think it's to do with the fact that the Real Madrid ones is the glamour friendly, so they wanted to get as many in as possible for that game to see how basically Rangers fare against one of Europe's top teams.
Yeah, it's also rumoured that Rangers are going to have 17,000 opening Premiership Day.
Yeah.
There's also high
so-
reports as well for the Malmo game. They have full attendance. Well, Malmo or Helsinki.
Yeah.
So going off that, if they're doing it in percentages, then Celtic should have 20,000 in their first home league game.
I think it's a fair way to do it. I think like you've got to look at it like you got to take into account percentage of a stadium. Like,
yeah, it makes sense.
It makes sense, and honestly, like the quicker we can get back up to full capacity, the better. Because I mean, that's the quicker that I'm going to be able to get back to a football game. And well,
speaking of Celtic games, the team is out.
Is it?
No, it's not. Yeah, so if we'll just run through it. It's Barkas and Nets, a back four of Ralston, Beaton, Welsh, and Taylor, which makes me want to cry.
I knew that was the back four.
Yeah, so did I. Sorrow, McGregor, Turnbull in the midfield. I'm guessing Abada and Christie playing wide, and then Edward.
Yes, it's the rumoured lineup that I've seen all day. So
Lee Griffiths makes the bench.
Cunt.
Along with ball and goalie.
Sorry, that word was that was a bit too much for this podcast. I'll cut that out. I'm not cutting out, but
we've also got breaking news. It is 1-0 Ayr, so
as
1-0 Hamilton.
Yeah. Is that in the cup or is that just a friend?
No, in the cup.
It's a cup.
Anyway,
good.
I've done for the teams playing in Europe this week because it was just not very feasible to go through all the Premier Cup games and do predictions for them. So I've done for the teams in Europe this week. We can do predictions for them. They're all at home. Every single team. Celtic, Hibs, and Aberdeen, all home ties for their first ties. So, just we'll kick to Craig and we'll ask him what he thinks the Celtic Michelin score will be.
You know what? I think Celtic will actually win this game quite comfortably. I can see them coming out. You might laugh. Yeah, I know that Celtic fans are not going to be confident for this game one bit. But I can see them coming out comfortable 2-0 winners.
Yeah, I've stuck down 2-1. I don't like our defence, but
2-1 to who?
Us. 2-1 to us. I don't like our defence, but I'd still maybe fancy us to win. Mr. Dure obviously he's going to say 4-0 to Celtic because he seems to think that we're so good.
I'm going to say 1-0. It's going to be like an 80th minute winner.
To who?
Celtic. Still got enough quality.
3-0 Celtic.
Matt's far too confident for me. Now we're going to get scuttled 5-0.
I laughed at my 2-0.
Wasn't enough.
Right, next up, Hibs. They're playing Santa Coloma or whatever they are. I'm probably absolutely butchering the name.
It's a game that Hibs should be winning very, very comfortably. So I'm going to go for a 4-0 win. And they're going to start their European campaign off with a banger.
Yeah, the team they're playing tweeted
Great.
the other day basically saying Hibs are a big team and they are a small team. It's a proud, is what they said. So 7-0
That is a
Hibs. It's a proud. Mr. Jur.
Obviously, this team from Andorra did beat the fourth best team in Gibraltar 4-0 after a draw.
So they're no slouches.
So they're no slouches.
I'm waiting for 6-0 Hibs.
No, I'm going to say 2-0 Hibs.
I'm actually going to agree with you. I think 2-0 Hibs. Scottish teams tend to score loads of goals in Europe.
And last up, Aberdeen play Häcken.
It's a game that
From Sweden.
Aberdeen should be winning, but it will be a tough one for them because the Swedish league has started. Their players will be right up to fitness. They are 11 games in or something like that.
Yeah.
Albeit they did have a break for the Euros, but I still think Aberdeen will come out on top here. I think they'll win 2-1.
Yeah. Häcken are in some good form at the moment. 3 wins in a row. I don't know. I think Aberdeen should win it. 3-1. Jur.
I think Aberdeen are going to do probably their usual 1-0 Aberdeen.
Is Aberdeen's usual winning games?
No, but it's not scoring.
Their usual's
logic.
not scoring, to be fair, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go more the route of the Aberdeen usual. 0-0.
Even at home with 5,000 fans, or whatever it is.
Well, yeah, okay. 0-0, a bunch of baz.
Okay. I'm adding that in.
That's fine. Please put it in there.
There. If anyone got anything they would like to add.
Oh no! I thought you were gonna tell people at home if they wanted to add something.
No, I was talking to you guys. Like, if anyone has anything they want to add,
No, I don't think so.
No, I think we've covered pretty much everything.
That's
we
just-
just vaguely covered the stuff. I mean,
Got-
when
Yeah.
when we're getting closer to league season starting, we'll do a rundown of who's in what leagues and predictions for the
Mhm.
leagues. But at the
obviously,
moment, we'll let the Betfred Cup. No, I keep calling it Betfred Cup. It's the Premier Sports Cup.
Yeah, whatever.
Let it do its
Uh,
thing.
obviously glad to be back, and I guess all of us can't wait for the season to actually begin.
I don't know if that's how I
Yeah.
describe my feelings at the moment, but yeah.
No, not really. I'm still digesting
Yeah,
last week.
I'm fairly confident about your season.
Well, I mean, you've got enough fullbacks. That's the
You can do
main
a
worry.
couple more
I
fullbacks.
think. Well, the thing is with the way that what do you call him?
Hopkins.
Hopkins, that's the one. Why is his name pass my mind so much? He set us up with like a 4-4-2 as such.
He's just playing a Morton League team.
but-
It's Morton.
But the two like wide midfielders are also fullbacks, but they're more attacking minded fullbacks. So it means when we are defending, they can drop back and defend, and it's quite a versatile system that he does play. So
Fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
Whatever you say.
I'll be
it seems
back.
to have worked. We've only conceded like 1 goal. No, but actually on competitive games we've not conceded yet,
Mhm.
so it's not bad.
Yep. Yeah. I'm assuming we'll be back at some point again. Hopefully
Well-
sooner than 5 weeks this time.
We'll have to go over the predictions.
I know.
Yeah,
It all depends on Mr. Jur's work schedule because he gets work like a Trojan, so he does.
he's a busy man these days.
Um,
Busy man.
But We will be doing a podcast presumably next week.
Yes. We'll let the busy man get off because he seems very busy right now. Mr. Drew, do you want
Yes.
to say goodbye?
As always, guys, thanks for listening. I appreciate it, and I hope everyone has a great day.
Mr. Gregor, do you want to say goodbye?
It's good to be back. Like Ferg said, hopefully it won't be as long this time before the podcast. So yeah, it's goodbye.
Matt,
Yep. Hope we're all enjoying the sunshine. And yep. Good night.
thanks for listening. Thanks for bearing with us while we had a well-deserved breast. Fuck.
Hey.
A well-deserved rest.
I'm due a breath.
Anyway, back to the old classic. Good night and God bless.